All right, Carts, we've just finished the spring racing carnival season, but that doesn't mean that we can't look our best downstairs with products such as Nut Care, Bear Nuts, Bear Butts. And that's why at any given Sunday, we are proud to be supported by Australia's number one voted. I froze a little bit there for a sec. It was just me. It wasn't the internet. Number one voted by Men's Health magazine with Bear Nuts pubic hair removal cream. Nut Care is revolutionising male grooming. As proud supporters of Any Given Sunday, Nut Care is offering 10% off all of our listeners on their first order simply using the code Any Given Sunday at the checkout. The discount will be applied. Nut Care is essential grooming for men.
Brown 45! Brown 45! Hot, 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 hot!
You are listening to Any Given Sunday, Australia.
Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the number one podcast in at least 3 households, 1 studio, Gridiron Australia head office, up in Winnipeg, which I will have to mention, don't let me forget in a second. Wherever Danny is at the moment, he's not joining us tonight. Do you know where he is? Norway?
He's going to Norway, I think.
Norway, yeah.
We're
So he's
some homework.
He is trying to find Norwegian, that's right. He's out of internet range, so we do not have him tonight, but he is here in spirit, and I imagine he'll be watching along as soon as he can. So g'day, Danny, from the boys in the lab. Winnipeg, I wanted to bring that up quickly. James Sheehan, who we spoke to, Winnipeg, above the States, in the CFL. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers today won their way into the Grey Cup, which is the final game of the season, like their Super Bowl. And they're versing the Montreal somethings. I'm not quite sure who they are. We don't worry about them, although they do have a pro kicker in the Montreal team too. So we've got an all-pro kick Grey Cup, which is huge. Johnny messaged me earlier today and said if Jam wins, we've got an all-pro kick cup. So a huge shout-out to Jam and the boys up in Winnipeg, and good luck to him next week when that kicks off, which will be all over, don't you worry. I've already messaged him and told him good luck from us down and under. Joining us, as always, down in his basement where we're not quite sure where it is at Tim Cardy, AGSAU, TC24. How are you, mate? I was just your jumper today gives it away a little bit.
Hey?
Your jumper today gives it away a little bit.
Oh, yeah, no, that's okay. Just rocking the Talkie Tigers Premiership merch today. So I mix it up a little bit. The
Absolutely.
2023 Premiers.
How many colours you got in that, mate?
Got the black, the grey, the white, and like a tanny sort of colour, and then the long sleeve as well. So I kidded myself out, but no, I'm going good, mate. I actually spent a day at the races yesterday, the last day of the Melbourne Cup Carnival at Stakes Day. So I'm coming in pretty unprepared. I'm here to just sort of smile and wave and nod and agree with everything you say. Pretty much, that's going to be my contribution today.
Are we live?
We are live. Yeah, we're live. We're live.
So you'll be keeping all over that anyway.
I'm all over that, and we're actually recording on a Sunday, which we don't do that often, do we?
No, not unless we're
Sunday Australian podcast.
That is a great point. It's usually when we're not really
but Sunday. We are.
Yeah. Nah, we're all over it. We're ready to go at 9 o'clock on a Sunday before kickoff early Monday morning. It's perfect. It's great timing.
We get it done.
That's it. We have up-to-date news, which is all it's all about. We're going to get straight into it because, like we said, it is late. We both got to get up early for work. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the game the other night. I'm not sure. I watched it. Did you get to see much of the game?
Yeah, I was dipping in and out. It was
a game, and look, I'm honestly going to be the same. I was dipping in and out because it was that kind of game where you were like, oh, Panthers at the Bears is not the most entertaining game. The only real thing riding on it for both teams is they've actually swapped picks next year. So the Bears, who end up getting the win 16-13, it's a pretty big win for them because obviously they move up further. You know, they could actually take the Packers soon in the NFC North, which is probably big news for the Bears, but I don't think they'll get there. But they also send the Panthers down there, and they're something like 46% chance now to get the number one pick this year.
Because of where the Panthers are, like I said, it was hard to stay invested. It wasn't the most exciting game.
Definitely not.
Like I was trying to take little things out. Like I was trying to watch Bryce Young to see how he was going, and like he wasn't getting great protection from his O line. Like he was having to scramble a fair bit, but he's really accurate on the run. Was something I noticed. So like that's probably a big part of his game. But yeah, he's super accurate on the run, but didn't get to see much of him from the pocket as such. But yeah, it was just a bit of a underwhelming Thursday night game, which is kind of what we were kind of used to last year.
Yeah, 100%. I think the Broncos had a few games last year and it was super underwhelming, like 9-6 kind of games. And that's what it was leading out to be. It was a very defense heavy game. Montez Sweat, he played pretty well. I'm not sure of his actual stats, but he came out and played pretty well for the Bears after signing that 4-year deal. He was up and about, but you're right. Like
Find that
Bryce Young, I don't know. I get one point he had like 3 of 14 and only like 30 odd yards. Like he was just struggling, but it was the same on the other side as well. So it wasn't really. It was definitely a run heavy game. I don't think there was any offensive touchdowns from the Panthers. They had their touchdown from I reckon a kick return off the top of my head. Could be wrong.
No,
I'm wrong, or was it a running back?
Return.
It was a punt return, so I was right. So yeah,
you said
it was a game you had to get through, which is unfortunate for Thursday night. But next week's Thursday night game is an absolute cracker. So I think even because I was listening, I was actually on the golf course. I won't lie, but I had the game on as I was playing, and even the commentators were just like, "We've been stitched up here. Like this is." We don't really get great games on Thursday night. And, the team's backing up after Sunday. It's a bit of a shame. But next week, I don't know who it is off the top of my head, but it is an absolute cracking game. Week 11.
Bagels and Ravens in Baltimore.
Bengals and Ravens.
In Baltimore.
Absolute huge game. So next week, we've got a big game to look forward to on Thursday. But
in the end, the main thing I was looking at from the game was guys in fantasy. So I got Thielen and Komet. So I was just kind of watching them. that was the main.
Yeah, and anyone, I didn't punt on the game. It was a hard game to actually bet on. So I stayed away, and otherwise that'll be the only thing you really be rooting for, unless you're a Bears or Panthers fan. But yeah, good on the Bears. They got the win, and they get the pushing the Panthers just slightly further down the table, which is helpful for them next year. So I reckon that's all we really need to say about this game. There's not much more.
That's as much as that needs.
No, that's easy, right? As much as that needs. So we're going to go on to our news, which has been brought to us by. Well, actually, it's a questions without notice. We didn't really have much news to go with. So we're going for a questions without notice, but we've changed it up a little bit. Brought to you by C2C Rare Threads, as it always is, our good friends up on the Gold Coast. Find them online, c2crarethreads.com.au. That's Rare Threads with a Z. 10% off with the code Any Given Sunday. They're real good to us, so make sure you check them out. They've got some quality gear. The questions without notice I've got for you, actually statements without notice. I think there's about 9. I think so. I think I'm just getting him up on my phone now.
Here all night.
We are running a little bit low on time. No. So it's come from ESPN NFL. Which are these bold? It doesn't say how many. So they're all bold predictions. I'm just going to run them by you. I want a quick yes or no, and if you have a thought on them, by all means, chuck it out there. But so it's the NFL mid-season predictions via the ESPN NFL analysis. So the first one is that Aaron Rodgers will return this season.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How long? Because he's throwing deep balls already. How long do you reckon you last?
It'll be 2 games left. 2 games of the regular season.
Hopefully the Jets are still in there. The Giants will go winless and get the number 1 pick in 2024.
Ooh. No.
You reckon they got a game up their sleeve? I don't have their schedule in front of me, but they have been absolutely putrid. They got the Cowboys this week.
Yeah, but I just can't see the Panthers doing much better.
Yeah, fair enough. CJ Stroud will be in MVP conversations.
Oh, yeah, he'll be
in conversations. He's going to win it.
He'll be in conversations. Yeah, he will. Yeah,
that's huge for a rookie. I couldn't tell you the last rookie that was up there. the Lions will earn the number 1 seed in the NFC.
In the NFC. Ooh.
Currently got the Eagles at 8-1. The Lions are 7-2, I believe.
6-2.
6-2.
Nah. Eagles will hold on to that.
And lucky last, which goes against what the other prediction was, but Patrick Mahomes will win his 2nd straight MVP.
No.
Do you have someone in mind just to really throw you under the bus?
No, I don't. But I don't feel like he's having that sort of year yet. Like,
that dominating year that he has last year. Well, last year I reckon he was slow to start like he was this year, but really come home with a wet sail, you might say.
Oh yeah, and like they're 7-2, and he has been playing great football, but it's just like it's not at that like Patrick Mahomes level of like what we've come to expect. But so yeah, it's probably a bit harsh. Like we judge him probably too harshly because of his own standards that he set. But
100%.
Doesn't feel like it at the moment. Nah.
Nice. So I don't know how many that was, but that is all from the ESPN NFL team.
That was good.
Yeah, a couple of. I really like that CJ Stroud. Definitely rookie of the year. Offensive.
Yeah, but like
rookie of the year.
No reason why he shouldn't be in that MVP combo. Like what he's doing.
100%. So he's got a pretty good game this week as well. Which I think we're
touching on
that one. Yeah. Huge for him. The fact that we're even talking about the Texans this late into the season, I think is awesome. A bit of housekeeping that I did forget, the DAZN Game Pass. Make sure you find it on our link tree. Hit them up. Use our link. You'll get a little bit off. Well, it's well over halfway, so you get more than half off the original price, which is huge. And also checking out our merch store. Danny always gives it away. It's any given Sunday spot, dasautomath.com.
Go to the link tree. Just follow the link trees. It's nice and easy. It's all there for you.
That is a good point. Go to link tree, easiest way. And you'll find the link tree on our socials. So,
yes.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some game previews. And we did just mention the first one that we are going to talk about is the Texans and the Bagels this week. Please forgive my my ask this week. Yeah. This is probably the best one that I've got. So
okay. Well, I was going to say this isn't too bad.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better. Sorry.
Well, we're trending downhill like we normally do.
Downhill, unfortunately. So I got the and this is that's proper. It's Sunday, November 12th. I was pretty happy with that fine. But the Texans and the Bagels. What are your early thoughts, mate? I'll just get some stats up. But what are your first thing you hear Texans and Bagels? What do you reckon?
It's in the Natty. I know that I think just on the head-to-head, the Bagels are big favorites, like in the betting. The line, I believe, I'll have a look at that quickly. I think it's about 6.
Ooh,
minus 6 to the Bagels. So all money, and obviously the bookies all kind of heavily favoring the Bengals, and it is in the Natty, like we said. So huge home field advantage there. Like Joey B, we've been talking about, he's healthy. They're starting to play some good football. It's hard to tip against them, but like the Texans, like you said, like no one expected us to be talking about them at this point of the season, and CJ Stroud to be having the year that he's putting together so far. Could be a sneaky good game. I think the Bengals will probably win comfortably in the end, but could be a sneaky good one, I reckon.
So the only thing I think that could really derail the Bengals, so T. Higgins has been ruled out as of yesterday, and Jamar Chase, as of today, is still questionable. So losing a couple of big weapons.
That news on our our review episode.
Yeah, was that 2 days ago?
Yeah.
So I think that's the only thing that can really derail the Bengals, especially the way they have been going at the moment. But you're right. The Texans, they don't have anyone of serious note missing. But yeah, 65%. So I actually think a little bit less than what I would have thought. 65% of people are backing the Bengals.
You at the start of the year, you would expect it to be 90+%. Like,
Yeah,
it would just be an
100%.
absolute landslide. So just even the fact that they're getting that much of the market just shows how much of a year they're putting together so far.
Yeah, I don't know the last time they played, but you're right. It's in Paycor Stadium, so I really think that Joey B is going to come out and just keep that rolling, keep that train going. But I do think CJ Stroud will play well. Like, I don't think it's going to be. I don't reckon it'll be a blowout. I reckon it'll be one of those comfortable, one touchdown kind of margins that you think, oh, Houston's always in it, but they're just not quite there.
Yeah, like it'll feel like a comfortable win at the end of it, but Houston won't get blown out or put to the sword early or anything. I don't think.
No. So
as long as Jamar is healthy.
Yeah, especially after
can't really afford to have T and him out.
T and Jamar out. Yeah, absolutely. Is -6, was that the official line?
Yeah, yep.
Are you going unders or overs with that?
Oh, I reckon.
Do you have the under-over for the game?
For the game?
I reckon it'll be high scoring.
Oh, sorry, 47.
47.
Yeah, I reckon you can see on that.
Yeah. I reckon you can see them
and then
24 apiece.
And then I think the Texans to cover.
I agree. That's right, yeah. See how 6 is such a good line. Like, the other day it was 3 and it ended up being 3.5 and it was 4. So they know stuff, those people.
No, Thursday night was 3 points.
Yeah. Was that the game? It was wasn't it? So it ended up being spot on. Yeah. Look, I'm going to say that the Bengals do cover, but I reckon because it'll be that touchdown margin.
Oh, you reckon you're taking Bengals to cover? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't mind it.
But it's that 6 is such a good line for this game.
Yeah.
Such a good line. All right, the next game that we are moving on to, I've got the run sheet here. Oh, up in the AFC North. Oh, staying in the AFC North, technically. We've got the Browns. It's pretty stock standard, this one. What are your thoughts?
Hang on, I'm waiting for it to come. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're definitely going downhill.
That's
like
the second best.
It does the job, it shows that it's the Browns and the Ravens.
Well, the last one I couldn't actually find a thing for them, so actually, it's pretty bad. The Browns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Browns and the Ravens. The 5-3 Browns versus 7-2 Ravens. Now, something that I found out during the week about this game, cracking game, by the way, and I think this is what it's going to come down to. So we were sleeping on the Browns being the number 1 defense. I found out at the moment the Ravens are the number 2
defense.
Yeah, did not have any idea about that.
Wow, is that just on us for not paying enough attention?
Yeah, probably.
Well, and Joshy's made a good point in the chat on YouTube. He said like the Baltimore need to flex on a big Browns defense, and like that is so true. Like we talked about the Ravens are finding themselves at the top of a lot of people's power rankings. Like you see the power rankings coming out each week, and they're starting to just sit at that 1 and 2 spot quite consistently now, and they're ticking along pretty well. Like it'd be a big statement to come out against the highly rated Browns defense and like do a number on them and send a bit of a message to the league. I think like massive chance for him here. Divisional game too, like huge chance for him to stand for a bit of authority, I think.
Okay, so what I found here, I might have lied. It says 6th overall, 1 against the rush, the Ravens.
Oh, okay. Well, they're a great defensive side, but they're similar sort of story here. The betting, all the money's for the Ravens. They're heavily favourite head to head, and the line is 6.5 for the Ravens. Over under 38. So obviously banking on the defenses sort of getting a hold here and expecting it to be a little bit lower scoring the bookies.
So it's at Baltimore. They've already played this year as well. So the Ravens beat the Browns 28-3 October 1, which would have been 4 weeks ago, something like 5 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So what, round 5, week 5, something like that. So so they've already got the head-to-head to them, beaten them, covered them this year. So you think the Ravens will go in there pretty confident. Haven't really got many injuries either that they're worried about.
Before it was, yeah.
And so, 70% of the betting is currently with the Ravens.
which you'd expect.
Yeah. So again, not really. Marlon Humphrey, the cornerback's the only real worry. He's a questionable as of yesterday. And the Browns are looking pretty healthy as well. They've got a couple of out, but they've been out for a few weeks. So what'd you say the line was, sorry? 4.5?
6.5.
Bullshit. That's another big line in such a – they're expecting a low-scoring game. That's a huge line.
Interesting. Like, they're obviously expecting the defenses to sort of be a bit more dominant, and that's reflected in the overall over-under. But I think, I just like the Ravens offense more, obviously, than the Browns offense. Big chance. I think big chance for him to come out and make a statement, like Josh, you kind of said. I'm going to go with the Ravens, and they're going to cover the line too. I think more than the touchdown. They're going to win.
I'm 100% in your corner here. I was just reading. So the passing yards. I know Deshaun's missed a couple of games, didn't he? So he's had 85 of 137 for 902 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Lamar, which, wanted to come out and be like, I'm a passing. I can play in the pocket and I can pass. 181 of 253 for 1,900. So he's got 1,000 more yards.
1,000 more.
9 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions, but he's also had a few touchdowns on the ground as well. So you couldn't have said it better.
Is that 9 passing touchdowns?
9 passing as well.
He'd have a couple of his own rushing and that sort of thing. So
I reckon he'd have 4 or 5 at least.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more with what you said. That I just like the Ravens offense, although they're really good. The Browns, and they're probably better than they were 4 or 5 weeks ago. I just reckon at home the Ravens are just going to keep that train moving and then just roll over them.
They're going to flex a bit of muscle and
they'll keep Myles Garrett. They'll keep Myles Garrett in check. If you can do that, you go a long way to beating this team.
Yeah, if you can lessen his impact on the game and sort of, like you said, take him out of it, goes a long way.
Goes an absolute long way. All right, the last game that we're talking about, and I'm a little bit worried to show. So, like I said, I couldn't find a photo of the two. So I've just gone back and found an old school photo.
Oh.
I'm not actually sure who that player is, but I know that Phillip Rivers of the, at the time, San Diego Chargers, I reckon.
Well, 55 it looks like at the Lions, whoever that was.
Yeah. Not sure. But we've got the Chargers at the line.
It's getting the job done. It's showing us who we're talking about.
It is. It's not lying about it. Lions at the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken.
Who?
The Lions at the Chargers.
Yeah, no, sorry, you're right. Yeah, at SoFi.
At SoFi. So 60% of the betting is with the Chargers. Is that fair or unfair?
That's surprising. I've got them as head-to-head favourites, like on the betting here, so that's interesting. And I've got the Lions, sorry, as head-to-head favourites. Is that what I said? Yeah. And then the line is -3 for the Lions as well. So the bookies are favouring the Lions as well.
But the money's on. So the money's on the Chargers to cause a little bit of an upset.
There you go. Interesting. Maybe, I suppose home field always plays a big part in where the money goes. Watching who did the Chargers have last week? I watched a bit of that game.
Same did I. They beat the Jets.
Oh, that was Monday. Yeah. So their defense were really dominant. Their pass rush were up and about. Bosa and the likes of those guys. They were really up and about. So I suppose tough because Detroit is such an offense heavy, can score big. Yeah. What's our total points? 48 over under.
I think that's in real trouble again because I think two high octane offenses that just want to come out and throw the ball and score. So I reckon the 48's probably a little bit unders.
Definitely within reach, given these two teams. I don't know. I was leaning a lot more towards the Lions. Just interesting knowing that that's where the money is with the Chargers at home. I still think the Lions are a bit of a wagon, so I'm probably going to take the Lions, I think, and at -3.
Yeah, -3 is not. It's probably a fair line. Like, it's not huge, and yeah, I don't know. I agree. I think the Lions, they're drinking their own Kool-Aid at the moment, and they're loving it, and they're MCDC's just got them rolling.
Yeah, mate. That's the par for the course, isn't it?
Yeah, so I do like the Chargers and I do like Herbert, but yeah, I don't know. I reckon they come in, and this will be another. I don't know if they need a big statement win. The Lions, they've kind of had a couple real good wins already, but I reckon they come in Gibbs to have another big game. I know Montgomery's possibly back, but I reckon they just keep feeding Gibbs. He had a huge game that coming out game the last time they played. They obviously had the bye week.
They'll be sharing reps and stuff, but handy having Montgomery back, but knowing what Gibbs is capable of, huge.
Actually, it was against the Raiders, wasn't it?
Pardon?
He had that come out game against the Raiders 2 weeks ago. Sorry.
Absolutely tore us apart. But I suppose Herbert's still got that dicky finger on his throwing hand, so that's always an issue. Like, because you look at the way that it's bandaged up, it's about that much longer.
How awkward does it look?
He is very protective of it, but it's always a chance to get knocked or caught or something like that. So it's always a bit of a worry until he's like, back 100% healthy there. I'd always be just a little bit nervous of that getting re-injured. But I think I just trust the Lions more than I do the Chargers at this point in the year as well.
Yeah, 100%. And a little thing that I heard, just to throw out a little bit of a player prop.
Here we go.
I don't know if I can find it, but whatever it is. So Chargers leak a lot of catches out of the backfield. So I did hear Jamar Gibbs. Last time I heard it was about 6.5 receptions. That might be a bit high, maybe 3.5 receptions was the under-over, and you smash the overs because they leak a lot. And he was huge out of the backfield against your Raiders the other week. So
he was.
Keep an eye out on that one. Overs on Jamar Gibbs for receptions.
I don't mind that. That's a good little tidbit.
We'll have to check in on it when we come back on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it is.
Yeah, timestamp it.
Timestamp it. All right, we've got our favourite segment. Now that Danny is not here, you're definitely number one. I'll run through the other games just quickly. So we've got the Packers versus Steelers, Colts, Patriots in the Frankfurt game.
Could be a sneaky good game, yeah.
Yeah, so that's 1:30 tomorrow. We're definitely not going to be up for watching that
soon.
one.
Yeah.
That's a DAZN maybe in 40 kind of game. But yeah, being over there just kind of levels the playing field 100%, even though we've got the genius coach in Belichick.
Definitely, both teams not flying, so yeah, it could be an interesting one.
How'd they get there if they weren't flying?
They are.
Texas Bengals, like we said, Titans, Bucks, Browns, Ravens, 49ers, Jags. Could be a bloody good game. 49ers coming off the bye just to really rejuvenate themselves. I reckon that could be a bloody good game. Saints, Vikings, Falcons, Cards, Lions, Chargers, Giants, Cowboys, which I reckon is going to be an absolute whitewash. Commanders, Seahawks. And then your boys on the Monday. Oh, no, they're not.
Yeah, that's the
Bills,
prime time.
Broncos, Bills are the Monday night.
No, Sunday night prime time.
Yeah, your Sunday night. Jets, Raiders. Sunday night prime time.
Let's go. In Vegas, baby.
Jets, Raiders. How are you going to go quickly?
Oh, a bit nervous. No, we've got a bit of momentum. New coach bump is going to continue to roll. Jets are very good defensively, but they're nowhere offensively. So Crosby and the boys are going to have a day out.
He's going to eat.
And he's going to eat. He's going to fill his boots. Devontae Adams, 2+ touchdowns, 100+ yards.
Nice. We'll check on that one too. We're going to have to put them both on. We'll see how we go. All right. Let's get on to our favourite segment, mate. What's our favourite segment?
It's the hashtag LATW Week 10 edition.
I'm going to add that hashtag on.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
The lock of the week, brother.
So Danny gave us his the other day.
He did. He's gone with the Cowboys, as you alluded to, going to be an absolute whitewash against the Giants. Charlie's also taken the Cowboys. He did throw in a little aside. He said as long as they don't have to manage the game clock in the fourth quarter. So a cheeky little dig there from Charles. Who are you going with, mate? Currently, you're our leader. So you've got a little bit of breathing room too in front as well.
Yes, I've been instructed to go make it a bit more interesting and pick one that's not so Cowboys over Giants kind of pick.
So cowardly. Yeah.
So I've gone for the Lions over the Chargers.
Oh.
Yeah.
It
was actually a pretty tough week. There were some real tough games in there, but I've gone with the Lions as my pick.
I've kind of tried to go similar to you. I don't want to just take the completely obvious one. I still want to try and get it right, but I don't want to take the obvious one every week. I've gone with the Seahawks.
Ooh.
Yes. So they've got Washington at home up in Seattle.
Yeah, sneaky. It's not a whitewash game, definitely.
No, I think it's like, you would expect Seattle to win, but Washington have been thereabouts in games this year, and like they're not easy beats by any means, but so definitely Seattle up there at home, huge advantage, but trying to keep it a little bit interesting.
Is Meg's in the chat? She would absolutely love that.
She's not, but I'm sure she would absolutely be loving it. So that's good.
Great. All right, mate. That was the quickest 31 minutes I've ever been a part of.
That was great. Oh, I do want to touch on quickly. Yesterday at the Bucks Day I was at the races, I ran into our tipping leader, Josh Slattery, the Slatterpuss, or whatever. What's his name on the I can't remember his handle, but
Puss's Pies or something.
Yeah, that's it. Papa Puss's Pies, I think it is. So I was just picking his brain for some tips and tricks on because he's a few out in front. So just on how to sort of
reel him back in.
Yeah, trying to reel him back in, and just how he manages a lead at this sort of point in the year. So it was good to touch base with him and to see how he was going, how he's handling it at the top there.
Yes, there was also the other day, it was remiss of me to mention, I hope he's still listening at this point of the podcast, and it's really probably Danny's fault, although he was in Copenhagen. One of our OGs, it was his birthday, Jimmy Ferry, so big shout out to him for whatever it was, 2 or 3 days ago.
Him yesterday as well, actually.
Yeah, so we should have mentioned it when it was actually his birthday, but we'll give it 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, come on, we got to be better.
Yeah. That's all right. All right, mate. Well, you get yourself to bed because we've got a big day on the tours tomorrow. Watching all of these NFL games.
As much football in as we can.
Yeah. Have the DAZN on in the carpool in the morning, watching along.
Not the driver, obviously, but yeah.
No, he can listen, whoever that is.
Yep.
The boys in the back watching along. Get 4 screens on your small little screen. Well, actually, just have 4 different phones going. Whatever. It's all good.
Why not?
All right. Good luck to the Raiders.
Yes,
go my boys. Go my boys.
Go to Vegas. Sorry.
And Danny's boys are on a bye, so they can get stuff. But Danny's away for the entire week, so we probably won't have him next one either.
Yeah, I think he's out of service for a bit. So
yeah, we will hear from him small bits. But
miss you, Danny.
Yes, it is not quite the same now that we've done it with 3 for so long. But all right, mate, we're talking dribble. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you, fam. Go the Raiders.
Bye.